Richard, how are you doing?
Michael,
It's a
how
beautiful
are you
day.
this morning?
Beautiful day in Boston. A little hot, but you know how that is in Vegas.
I do, but this early in the morning, even out here, well, it's 91 degrees right now, but that's pretty manageable for us considering it's going to be, around 107 or 108 later this afternoon. So I had to close the front door about half an hour ago when the temperature hit about 88. That's where I draw the line. So got everything shut down now, got the air conditioning on, and we're good to go. And we're excited to be here live. And for those folks that might be watching, get involved, post some comments, ask some questions. We'd love to interact with our audience during these live broadcasts. And we're going to be looking at Onshape update 1.150 today.
Yeah.
And Evan D is in the house with a good morning. Good morning to you too, Evan.
Top of the morning, Evan. It's really early for you, Richard, obviously. 91 at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, well. I knew it when I moved out here. And, I'll tell you what, though, the months of March and April and September and October, just gorgeous out here.
Yeah.
And, while you folks are fighting with those below zero temperatures, we're still in our shorts out here. So,
yeah. Well, it was an interesting update we just pushed last night. So I thought it would be a good idea to get together and discuss some of the cool things in it. There are, a number of really cool usability improvements, and I think we can just pop in and show them a little bit.
Yep.
One of I think the one that I like the most is stuff that makes me faster when I'm using the system. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen here.
Yep. Sometimes it's the little things are the most important, and I think we can see that with some of the comments that we're getting on this update this morning. So
yeah. The first update for today that I would like to discuss is the right mouse button context menu icon. So really just making it easier to find like what you're looking for, right? So if I right click on that part, that clip on the pulse ox right there, you see there's a bunch more icons now in the right click menu, and they weren't just picked willy-nilly, right? We need, if everything had an icon next to it, it would be a little difficult to find. So these are purposely picked based on usage data and other things. So this is going to make it way easier to find the most common commands, right? Here's the, hiding the top clip, or creating a drawing of the top clip, or adding a comment, right? So depends what you search or click on, where you are in the context of working, right? So I was in a part studio there. And let's see, in an assembly, we're getting some, fixes, obviously a very common thing, right? Getting into a section view.
Switch to, one that I use quite often.
Switch to, really? Interesting. So, changing the configuration of a part, right? So all that kind of stuff right there at your fingertips. So you can just go in and get your work done quicker. I don't use Onshape like 18 hours a day. So when I'm using Onshape, and I need a right click menu, it makes it a lot easier to find what I'm looking for. It really is a big help. So I was just looking for that delete, and it was right there. I can see
there it is. Yeah. This one's getting a lot of reaction in the forums. I think I picked out some of my favorite comments here. Icons are awesome, absolutely. And then of course, nobody's ever 100% satisfied. We need some more of those.
Yeah.
And I think this comment came from Bruce.
Yeah. That sense the disturbance in the force when the new icons were there.
Yep. He logged into CAD this morning and saw something new. It's funny though. I would expect that Bruce was one of those folks that would sit on the F5 key, waiting for that update to come up into the forum. So
give him a break. He was probably asleep.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, not a. I mean, he's a. and on the other side of the world. So, welcome, Elegant BN. Welcome to the show. Yeah, the icons are, I think, one of the nicest little improvements that just is a simple improvement that'll help, I think.
Yep. Yeah. Very powerful.
Yeah,
Very,
yeah.
and much in demand. So,
Yep. Next, so right clicking, searching
uh,
for things and finding what you're looking for faster is actually something that really eats into a lot of engineers' time. There have been studies. I don't know how, there's been various studies I've read over the years and been involved with, but it really is true that a lot of the time in your day is SQL and backslash kind of finding things and stuff in kind of old file based systems, right? But with Onshape, we have a nice database we can search. A few updates ago, you notice how fast we made the search and improved that. Now this is just getting to the information that you're looking for. So one example of search results sorting that will come in handy. So here I am in my Onshape system. I'm using an Onshape enterprise account, but this will be for any account. Anything with professional above will give you released things as well. So what I mean by that is I know I'm looking for a drawing. I know the drawing has the word clip in it somewhere, and I'm looking for the released version of that drawing, right?
yep.
And I'll just search for it. And of course, instantly we have our search results, but which is the one I'm looking for, right? There's 4 of them. Now I could search by modified. That might be one way of doing it, right? Let me make this a little bigger so we can read the date better. But you can see that there, modified. Obviously we have Rev B of the probe drawing here at the top now. And then Rev A was, revved a couple years earlier. So that's what's going on here. It makes it way easier to sort your search results when you get into this kind of situation where you have multiple revisions, right? And, there's not a column to search for Rev A, Rev B, so you can search on date, but you could also search on revision. You could also go to these tabs over here. I'm going to show this because a lot of people don't realize this is here. This panel usually is over here, and it's usually kind of overlooked, right? But if I move this over here, this becomes very helpful. It's like, here's the clip probe drawing, and here's the custom property kind of metadata, the data card, if you will, right? And if I edit that, I have all of the custom properties for that drawing right here. Like, here was the revision description ready for production, and all the other kind of things are here. Some are allowed to be edited and some are not based on how the system was set up, right? So that's right there. You also have the revision history panel, which is really amazing because I can see Rev A and Rev B on that drawing, right? Here's Rev A. I can view the release package when this drawing was released, and this drawing was released with all the other parts, right? And I can see which workflow it went through, right? So I have the full history right here of understanding what's going on, and then here's Rev B, and I can actually click right into the Rev B drawing immediately by clicking on that link, and it will load me into the hyperlink for that particular drawing at that release, which was ECO 12111B. Right.
All right. Some extra tips and tricks from the professor this morning. Outstanding.
Hey, look who's here.
Yeah. Bradley's here. Welcome,
Bradley,
Bradley
how
and
the hell are
Jennifer.
you?
Yeah,
Nice
John McClary, our old friend. John joins us for just about everyone. Jennifer, this will appear on the. I mean, it's automatically recorded, and you'll be able to go to YouTube and watch this if you can't stick around. We hope you do. We're not going to be here that long. But yeah, it will be recorded. So,
Yep. Yeah, you can just go right to YouTube, and it'll be right there immediately at the end of the show.
yep. Hey, going back to this to the modified, I used it a little bit differently than I think everybody else will.
Yeah.
I used it to go ahead and sort so that I could look down at the bottom of the list and see how bad some of my first models were.
Richard. You're good. You're good at CAD. Come on.
Well, just like everybody else, when when you're learning something new, you tend to stick with some of the old habits that you had with some of your previous CAD systems, and I think that I ran into that a little bit when I was first learning Onshape. But then there's always that little light switch goes off, and you kind of get it. So,
Yeah.
but it's fun to go back to some of those old models and just see some of the extra stuff that I did that probably wasn't necessary to accomplish what I needed to. So.
Yeah. Here's
Ethan's joined us. Welcome, Ethan.
Ethan, John McClary, of course, as well. Ethan, nice to see you.
All right. I love a good wahoo early in the morning.
Yeah, that's how we should all start our mornings, right? Let's see. Anything else on this search topic? I don't think so. I think this is it's cool. Oh, one more power tip. See this search result at the top?
Yep.
See all that hieroglyphics? That's hyperlinkable, right? Or I mean, bookmarkable.
Yep.
So I could bookmark. Actually, let me do it another way. I haven't made a bookmark in a long time, I guess. Search for clips. There it is. So if I wanted to search for clips again, I have that right in my bookmark browser because that's that search result. So very nice to have certain kind of search results, data at your fingertips. There's a bunch of other things about data at your fingertips in this release as well.
Yeah, I do a lot of bookmarking. In fact, I have I use Chrome, so I have those little chevrons over there with other bookmarks, and it's a list that's longer than the tabs that I have shown on the browser. So,
what's next? Performance panel alerts. This is a good one.
Yep.
Anytime you have a system, you might have a computer that has a great graphics card, but Onshape for whatever reason isn't picking up on it. Reason is sometimes the browser kind of blocks access to WebGL based on power requirements or whatever. So this is actually just going to be right out there and saying, hey, if there's something not set up properly in your Onshape environment and you open up an Onshape document, you're going to get a little warning symbol right next to this thing, and you can check out what the issue is, right? And then open a support ticket if you need to. So that's really it right there, just making it more visible. We've had this performance panel for quite some time. If you haven't seen it before, it's quite nice. So you go to the performance panel, works for part studios and assemblies. You can see here in an assembly or a drawing, it's just showing me some basic stuff. Here's a part studio showing me, well, this is the document performance here, but showing me my basic information about what's going on, right? And it's telling me, a little informational message here about very fine tessellation occurring on, these two parts. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to have a nice, really, because I use this for taking photos and marketing images. Things like that. So, but I could turn that off anytime.
Yep. Good for you with all the green check marks there.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good here, right? WebGL, everything's green, everything's good. There's my M1 Apple chip Ultra. It's a really good computer I have right now. Oh, my battery's almost out of battery.
Time to plug in.
Yeah. Anyway, so what is next? We have
tangent edge display, I think, was coming up next.
Yes. So we did this in the part studio a few updates ago, if you recall, where I'm in a part studio now. We have tangent edges, phantom lines. Sometimes on a nice consumer product like this, you want to see the difference between, especially in a multi-part part studio, difference between parts and difference between like just blended edges. And this makes it very easy to see, what's a real edge and what is a kind of tangent kind of edge. And now it works with assemblies. So, makes a lot of sense to want that. So There we are. Let me, it might not have updated this document yet. So I actually might have another one. I know I showed it on another one earlier. So, but this one might not have upgraded yet. It takes a day or so for Onshape to upgrade all of the documents all around the world. And you can force the update, but that's probably what's happening there because it's not ready yet. But you can show the tangent edges in the assembly. Really, really cool. Where is, here's kind of an example of that right here, where you have, this complex injection molded part, or it could be a casting or something.
And in this case, I watched that video, and the tangent edges off is a great option in that one.
Oh yeah,
Gives a nice smooth look to that assembly.
exactly. This one's interesting. A lot of people don't realize, and let me just put the little name on here. A lot of people didn't realize this is one of the most amazing features of Onshape. When you're taking groups of items, like I have that right leg and left leg, and they're both mated. When you copy and paste them, like Command C, Command V, or Control C, Control V on Windows, when you paste those in the space, it actually pastes the mates that are also attached to those parts automatically. And the first time I saw that, I was like, "Oh my god, this is magic!" Right?
Yeah, that is magic. I mean, it's awesome the way that works.
And we've been doing it for quite some time, but we've noticed that the mate names were also just copied exactly the same. So what this is doing is just putting an instance number, a copy number next to each one, so that way you could rename it if you wanted to. It's going to make it easier to find and distinguish the mate names, as you use this workflow. But that is an awesome tip. All right. For anybody with enterprise, this is actually one of the most useful things I've seen now for reports and dashboards in the enterprise platform. The enterprise platform, a lot of our users have this, and one of the main reasons is visibility into business information. So the new thing that's been added to the dashboard system is action items. So if I go over here to the action items list, we've had this for quite some time, where I can say I want to find all, or I can create tasks, or I could search for various action items here. I'll say created by me or any. There we are.
You knew they were there.
I knew they were there. But we've had this, but as a manager, you might want to understand, what's going on across your entire department or company. So under the analytics, we have dashboards, right? We've had these dashboards for, ever since enterprise was introduced to the world. Now, if you go under all, you'll find action items and action item summary. So I'll use the summary this time, which just takes everything from all time. And now this is really cool. I've been using this enterprise for quite some time, and I instantly have this report that's already up to date, right? And it's just here, so I can see poor Debbie here is doing most of the work, carrying the whole company on her shoulders here in my enterprise. I mean, here I am, 1% of the job. My goodness. But anyway, this is a really nice dashboard, so we can understand what's going on. You can dive in, like here, just the open tasks. So maybe I should explore that, right, by showing a list of those and then diving into those. Or maybe there's 2 overdue ones. That's
I gotta say though, out of 161 open tasks, with only 2 of them that are overdue, your team is doing really great here, Michael.
Thanks, appreciate
Well,
it.
especially, I guess Debbie's doing really great. But
Debbie's doing really great, yeah. But just in case you didn't realize, you can share these dashboards or and save them. So like if you get it set up exactly the way you want, I'm going to say task board or something. You can give it a name and filter it out. Apparently, I didn't realize that. I'll have to investigate that. All right. First, typing and streaming. But now we have a board. We could share that just like you share with anything else. So I could share it with, Mike, the manager, or something. Do or edit or share this report or dashboard, I should say. So a lot of people don't realize you could do that with analytical data, just like everything else in Onshape, right?
And it works like everything else in Onshape. Just fantastic.
Yeah. So we've had that for quite a while too, but I always like to bring it up. But yeah, this task board, I jumped out of my chair when I saw this. We look at the the stuff at a company meeting every week, and I was really excited about this. And I knew this is gonna like really make people understand what's going on in their company at a very high level instead of like dealing with post-it notes or emails and things like that. You have it all right here.
Beautiful.
Another kind of nice enterprise thing. I don't think I'm going to show it live, but in the administration tool, when sometimes nice to be able to, if you have a large group of people you're bringing in and out, and this is pretty much, I think, because we have a lot of schools running Onshape here, right? They want to deboard users at the end of a semester or something like that, right? Or if you're a company and you're working on a joint venture and you want to remove users in bulk, you would be able to do that by doing it to a CSV file. And here you can actually see a date added column is just automatically here. It's just a way of sorting it, sorting release, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah, it's really good that these features are here. A little midsummer usability release is always a welcome thing. There's some obviously more coming in the future, so we can't wait for that to get out there. But I'm really excited about some of these usability improvements, Richard.
Yep, I'm with you on that. And I love these Learning Center updates. I mean, I just love the Learning Center. Period. In fact, we're gonna be talking about that a little bit later today. We've got a education Onshape user group meeting, 11 o'clock Eastern time, and you can go to onshape.com, look for the user group page there, and find the registration. We're going to talk a little bit about the Learning Center. We've got some other stuff on 3D printing. Should be a pretty good meeting if folks are available today. So
yeah, definitely hop into that. It's always worth it. You'll always learn something. Well,
we had a great meeting. I just got to mention because it was so fantastic. The women who CAD met last night.
Yeah.
It was a great meeting. Turnout was a little bit lighter than usual. We think that probably had a lot to do with summer and people on summer vacations. But the presentations were fantastic. Courtney did a great presentation on rendering, and I just got to say, I always talk about the little things that you learn at user group meetings, and I was just giddy to learn a couple of things. I didn't realize how easy it was to rename your appearances in the render studio. And the first time she showed that, I just kind of backed up in my chair. I thought that was really great.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, the other one is just escaping my brain right now, but it's those little tiny things that you see in these user group meetings that the presenter might not even be really focusing on, but you see something happen and you get to stop the presenter and say, hey, how did you do that? So you often you pick up a whole bunch of new little tips. So
yeah, totally.
So you got a question there from Tristan. Welcome, Tristan. Thanks for joining us today. You see that question there, Michael? I think that one's probably for you, buddy.
Yeah, let me look this up. I'm gonna go into our system here and see what that's about, because it is interesting. Yeah, the change log. If you can actually click into the change log in the what's new post in the forums, and there's a ton of like very detailed information. We didn't feel like it was important enough to bubble up to a lot, big video or something, but small improvement or bug fix or something like that. Things happen. So let's see, where was that? That was named positions.
And when we say something like various bug fixes, that could mean anything from a typo in a menu somewhere, or in this particular case, name positions panel. There may have been a graphic that was a little skewed. Those. I'm not saying that's what happened this time, but those are the kind of various bug fixes that you get with most software updates.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm not sharing a screen, but I'm looking at it in the name position panel. I'm not seeing any like user facing things, so it's probably some back end stuff. But I'll probably look and add a comment later on, Tristan, if that's okay. I'm having trouble finding the story. So cool.
All right. Well, another great update, another great live broadcast. I love doing these. We get to do these every 3 weeks, and hopefully we'll have another one in 3 weeks' time.
I would be shocked if we didn't.
And I hope Tristan says that's all right, and I hope I hope people will listen to our every 2 week podcast, the Innovators Insider podcast. We just dropped a new episode, and we've got a really exciting one coming up a week from Thursday, I believe that'll post. And folks don't want to miss that one. We've got a great interview with Joel Telling, the 3D printing nerd. So
yeah, that was a great interview. So yeah, that'll be dropping soon on Innovators Insider. Yeah, a lot of he's done some great interviews. He's met with Neil Patrick Harris of How I Met Your Mother, Duke Hauser, that kind of stuff. So he's a great actor.
Yep. He's pretty much convinced me to buy a 3D printer. I'm going to get something small and something inexpensive just for the studio here.
Yeah.
And try my hand at creating some 3D prints. So
yeah. I bet you can print all sorts of stuff for the tiny house.
Yep. Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
All right, Michael. Well, it's been great. Have a great day on the East Coast, and we'll try to do the same thing here on the West Coast. And I want to thank everybody that joined us live today. And come back again in 3 weeks. We love having you here.
All right. See y'all later.